And here we go again. Week 2 of the Jacksonville Jaguars OTAs have just started back up, and day 1, or I should say maybe day 4 of practice is officially in the books. And with that being said, we have a lot of news, notes, highlights, and observations to talk about with this first practice of the week. And don't worry guys, as practice continues to ramp up, we're going to keep you guys updated with everything that goes on in Jacksonville for OTAs. Now, in this video, we're going to break down everything you need to know. Before we get into that though, comment down below a player you think could really turn some heads this year for the Jacksonville Jaguars. That could be a rookie, a second-year player, a guy who they just signed, or maybe even a veteran who just hasn't really taken that next step up, but you guys think could do it this season. Now, with that being said, let's jump right into the video, and I kind of want to talk about 5 players who are already turning heads so far in OTAs, but I also want to let you guys know to take everything with a grain of salt, right? Everything is, very, very fresh. They're learning the playbook. They're getting back into it, getting into the swing of things. There's no pads. There's not really contact. A lot of people can look really good in air versus, nothing. But at the end of the day, the first impression is something that means a ton here, especially in Jacksonville for the Jaguars. Now, one guy who has, looked really good so far here in Jacksonville as a newcomer is wide receiver Devin Duvernay. Now, he has been a very interesting addition. Great timing just because the kickoff rule is a lot different now, and Devin Duvernay is a guy who has been insanely productive in terms of bringing kicks back and making big things happen, right? Now, back in 2021, they signed Jamal Agnew, and, with Agnew becoming a free agent this March, the front office said, you know what, let's go bring out a guy who can do a couple of different things, right? Not only get some kick return action, but also be a wide receiver as well. A guy who played with Baltimore, was a 2-time Pro Bowler, and he should have a day 1 immediate impact on kickoffs. And on top of that, last year was a contributor on offense as well. Tallied 37 catches in 2022. 33 the year prior, only 4 last season because they brought in Odell, and they had so many guys, Zay Flowers and whatnot, Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely. They had so many targets last season, but Devin Duvernay is a guy who has proven that he can make an impact at the wide receiver position as well, so I'm definitely excited to see if he can continue to grow, but more importantly, be a day 1 impact for their kick return game. Now, another guy who has been turning a ton of heads so far was actually a 7th round draft pick in Myles Cole. We're going to see a little bit of footage from Myles Cole, but this man looks like he could be a really good player. We see him working with the Jaguars edge rushers, and that's kind of where I would list them at, right behind Trayvon Walker or a guy like Josh Allen, Travis Gibson. But man, this is a guy who is bursting off the scene with speed, his ability to just get off the edge very, very quickly. He's got really good arm length. He's got very good physical traits, and a guy who's just has a ton of potential, right? Just an impressive athlete, got really good measurables, and has dropped jaws so far in OTAs. Defensive coordinator Ryan Nielsen has been very, very pleased with them. He said, and I quote, "When you grind the tape on him, he made some plays. You got to grind through it a little bit and find out, but we're excited about him, the measurables and things like that." But what he was doing on the tape is very similar to the type of defensive end position that we like. So obviously a 7th rounder in Myles Cole, to get a guy with a little bit of production is very, very good to see. And as for OTAs, Myles Cole is a guy you guys need to keep an eye out, going forward. Now, another guy who's been turning, some heads, offensive lineman Cooper Hodges. Now, Cooper Hodges is another very interesting, type of prospect here. Usually plays the tackle position, but has a little bit of versatility where he can play either side. But right now, they're using him a lot on the right side of the offensive line. And, he's been trying to recover. I believe he had a patella injury to end his rookie season, and now he is starting to get back into it. And you could tell the coaching staff is, very, very impressed with how far he has come and the work that he is continuing to put in every single day. You can tell this guy doesn't care much about, the little things like the money, the fame. This man wants to play football, right? So definitely excited about that. Before we get any further into the video, guys, and break down 2 more players who have been breaking out, including a guy you guys are going to want to hear from, do me a favor, hit the like button just so we can get this video out to more Jaguars fans around the world, but also subscribe if you're new. It's free. It doesn't cost anything, and we will be covering the Jacksonville Jaguars throughout not only the rest of OTAs, but mandatory minicamp in a couple of weeks, training camp in a couple months, and then just like that, we're going to be in the preseason, regular season, and hey, this is the #1 spot to keep you guys updated with everything, news, notes, highlights, analysis. I got you guys covered. So make sure you guys join the family. Now, another guy who has been relatively impressive so far in camp is actually a cornerback and Jarrian Jones. Now, he is a 3rd-round pick. We expected him to come in and make a little bit of noise from day one, and that's kind of what he has done so far. They took him number 96 overall, want him to come in here and be a playmaker. This dude is a slot type of corner. Now, they do bring in Darnell Savage, a former, safety, versatile, DB from Green Bay, but I would not be surprised at all if Jarrian Jones continues to impress, especially when the pads come on. This dude could be a day one starter, man. It's the energy that he brings every single practice. Whenever you get a chance to see him speak or watch him talk about football, you could just tell this man is 100% invested in just getting better, wanting to be coached, wanting to know how to be better, and trying to learn from the numerous amount of veterans on the team. So Jarrian Jones is another one of those 3rd-round rookies that I need you guys to keep an eye on out for, because he's a guy that can make a jump really quickly. And again, I would not be surprised at all if he's a guy that ends up coming out here and making a day one impact as a starting slot corner at the NFL level. But lastly, let's talk about the guy you've been waiting for, Brian Thomas Jr., the 1st-round wide receiver out of LSU. As good as Jarrian Jones has been, man, Brian Thomas Jr. has been even more impressive. This dude has gotten so much spotlight. You could tell he was made to be a 1st-round pick. He was made to be maybe even the #1 wide receiver in this offense, depending how Christian Kirk continues to get back into the swing of things. But man, Thomas has already been working a lot with Trevor Lawrence, and their connection is getting stronger and stronger as every single practice goes on. Now, there has been a little bit of a struggle point over the first couple of weeks here of camp, right? Guys getting into the swing of things, trying to get back into it. We've seen Trevor Lawrence make some really good passes. One to Seth Williams, a little bit short of the end zone, but a really good pass. Greg Jr. was in coverage, but Seth Williams made a nice little grab. We had some more 7-on-7 work from the 20-yard line. Trevor Lawrence to Brian Thomas, but it was incomplete. Went off his hand, so definitely want to, get a little bit more consistency out of these guys in the wide receiver room. We had one, Mac Jones to Parker Washington. Ball went off his hands as well, so we're seeing some drops here early on, but that is okay. Some good ones as well. Trevor Lawrence probably would have been sacked, but deep pass to Tim Jones. And again, like I told you guys before, Jarrian Jones, big time PBU, got up there, got his hand up in there, and made a big time play. So love to see it. I think there's a lot of guys standing out. I think Mac Jones got some 7-on-7 work in, a little bit off target on a deep ball to Elijah Cooks, and then Trevor Lawrence to Evan Ingram over the middle. Devin Lloyd was in coverage, but Evan Ingram did come down with it, made a pretty big play. So definitely love to see that. Let me know in the comments down below how you're feeling about OTA so far, and who do you think could definitely stand out over the next couple of weeks. And yeah, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family. I'll see you guys in the next Jaguars video. Peace.